Have you ever wondered if you could have a stroke without even realizing it, even if you're feeling perfectly fine? Many people think that strokes only happen when there are obvious symptoms, or that they only affect those with a family history. But recent medical guidelines are showing us something very different. Stroke is the 5th leading cause of death worldwide, and what's even more tragic is that 8 out of 10 cases could have been prevented by changing habits we do every day without thinking. And there's one silent factor that fuels many of these habits. Our emotions, stress, loneliness, and anxiety are powerful drivers of the decisions we make every day. Decisions that seem harmless but aren't. Today, I'll explain 12 key habits that, if recognized early, can protect your brain by changing them. Before we dive deeper, let me clarify something important. When we talk about strokes, we're referring to both ischemic strokes where a blood vessel becomes blocked and hemorrhagic strokes where a blood vessel bursts. These are two different situations, and the habits we'll talk about today increase the risk for both types, although some are more dangerous for one type than the other. Section 2, the first habit I'll talk about is a sedentary lifestyle and lack of movement. How much time do you spend sitting each day? Most of us spend hours sitting at a desk or watching TV, and the impact of this on our circulation is much greater than we realize. After just 4 hours of sitting, things start to change in your body. Blood, which normally flows smoothly, begins to thicken, and your heart has to work harder to pump it to your brain. This can lead to a gradual increase in blood pressure, which is a major risk factor for stroke. The most interesting part is that, often, a sedentary lifestyle is not just laziness. It can be a sign of depression or anxiety. The couch often becomes an emotional refuge. However, small changes can make a big difference. If you stand for just 2 or 3 minutes every hour, the risk of circulation problems significantly decreases. It's like giving that river of blood a chance to flow freely. Another dangerous habit is poor sleep quality, especially when it comes to undiagnosed sleep apnea, a condition where you stop breathing for long periods while sleeping. If you snore loudly or your partner has noticed you stopping breathing at night, it's time to pay attention. Sleep apnea can triple the risk of a stroke because it reduces oxygen levels in the brain, which increases blood pressure and damages brain arteries. Therefore, it's crucial to seek medical help if you notice these symptoms. Appropriate treatment, like using a CPAP machine, can make a big difference in preventing serious health issues. Section 3, another dangerous habit is excessive salt consumption and eating processed foods. Salts, often hidden in seemingly harmless products like canned soups or light foods, can be a major culprit for cardiovascular health. Salt acts like a magnet for water, causing the body to retain fluid, which increases blood pressure. And when we're stressed or tired, we often opt for pre-made, processed foods, which, in addition to being high in sodium, are loaded with added sugars and preservatives that silently harm our health. Also, we need to be mindful of the type of fats we consume. Excessive use of refined vegetable oils, like soybean or canola oils, can be harmful to our body. These oils, when overheated or consumed in excess, produce toxic substances that damage cells and increase inflammation in the arteries. The key is to opt for healthier oils such as extra virgin olive oil or avocado oil, and avoid processed oils whenever possible. Another essential habit is proper hydration. Many people don't know that dehydration, especially right after waking up, can thicken the blood and make circulation more difficult. After a night of sleep, the body loses water, and if we don't replenish it in the morning, our blood becomes thicker, which increases the risk of blood clots. Therefore, drinking 1 or 2 glasses of water right after waking up is crucial to jumpstart circulation and protect the brain. Section 4, smoking, whether through traditional cigarettes or e-cigarettes, is one of the biggest enemies of brain health. Even if you've quit smoking conventional cigarettes, using tobacco products remains a significant risk to your brain arteries. Tobacco acts like glue, narrowing and making the arteries sticky, making the blood more prone to clots. Even small amounts of tobacco, including e-cigarettes, significantly increase the risk of a stroke. The good news is that within a few months of quitting, the risk of stroke drops drastically. Excessive alcohol consumption is another habit we can't ignore. Although the idea that a glass of red wine per day is good for the heart has become popular, it's not entirely correct. Alcohol, in amounts greater than recommended, can raise blood pressure and cause arrhythmias, irregular heartbeats that increase the risk of blood clots. Both of these factors raise the risk of both ischemic and hemorrhagic strokes. Therefore, if you drink alcohol regularly, it's time to reflect on how this choice is affecting your brain health. Now, let's talk about blood pressure. Hypertension is known as the silent killer because it often shows no symptoms, yet it causes significant damage over time. If your blood pressure is consistently above 100, you're at risk for serious complications, including stroke. Regularly checking your blood pressure and taking prescribed medications is crucial to managing this risk. Section 5, ignoring high cholesterol is also a dangerous mistake. Many people believe that as long as they eat relatively healthy, cholesterol is not an issue. However, factors like genetics, stress, and processed foods can raise LDL cholesterol, the bad cholesterol, which gradually accumulates in the arteries, narrowing them over time. Keeping cholesterol under control is crucial to avoiding stroke risk, and this can be done through diet changes, stress management, and, in some cases, medication. Another critical factor to monitor is blood sugar levels. When diabetes is not properly managed, it can damage blood vessels and increase the risk of stroke. Even if you're not diabetic, high blood sugar levels can damage arteries, so it's important to regularly monitor your glucose. Lifestyle changes, like a balanced diet and regular physical activity, are key in controlling diabetes. Atrial fibrillation, or irregular heartbeat, is also a significant stroke risk. Often the symptoms are mild and attributed to stress or anxiety, but atrial fibrillation greatly increases the risk of blood clots forming, which can travel to the brain and cause a stroke. If you notice your heart beating irregularly, it's important to seek medical advice and get tested for this condition. Finally, abdominal obesity is another major risk factor. Even people who are not overweight but have excess fat around their abdomen are at greater risk for cardiovascular diseases and stroke. Abdominal fat is particularly dangerous because it releases inflammatory substances that affect the brain and heart. To combat this, a healthy diet and regular exercise are essential. Section 6. To wrap up, let us discuss 3 additional habits that are often overlooked but have a significant impact on brain health and stroke prevention. The first is chronic stress, which harms both our emotional and physical health. When we're constantly stressed, it affects our digestion and heart health, creating a vicious cycle of inflammation in the arteries. The key is learning to manage stress, whether through exercise, meditation, or seeking professional support. The second habit is social isolation. Being surrounded by people yet feeling lonely can elevate cortisol levels, the stress hormone, and damage the cardiovascular system. Maintaining meaningful social connections and finding purpose in life are vital for mental and physical health. Lastly, self-medicating without medical supervision is a dangerous habit. Many people take over-the-counter medications or use home remedies without realizing that these substances can silently affect blood pressure and cardiovascular health. Whenever possible, consult a doctor before taking any medication or supplement, even those that seem harmless. Now that you're aware of these habits, it's time to take action. If you haven't started changing your habits yet, start small. Pick one habit that you want to improve and focus on it for your health and well-being. Remember, small changes can make a huge difference in preventing a stroke.